Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Chloe Sanctuary and Cockatoos with Attitude. Having some technical difficulties, barely made it here. Hi, Amy. I know she's in here. I'm not sure we'll be able to hear her. They made some improvements. That usually means that there are problems now. So, what are you two doing? Hmm? Silly birds. Sugar, you have anything to say? Sugar bird. Snowball? The sleeping Jasmine. Way in the back over by the window is Lucy. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I can't read comments unless I turn the screen so it looks stupid. So I don't know if we're actually online. Can't tell anything. Let me see. Can you all hear me? Let me know because I can't tell. See anyone saying that they can hear me. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Ah, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just in a box here. I can't tell if anybody can hear me. So thank you very much. Cecil, he's feeling better today. Comes and goes, doesn't it, buddy boy? Hmm. Cecil and the flock of feathered geniuses, right? Cecil. Sugar is busy at it today. Yeah, we're going to talk about the secret life of parrots, even though they do it right in front of you. You and I don't see it all. So, oh, okay. You're going to come over and hit me with that? All right. That looks like a good webby. It does. Yeah, these guys don't just live with us. They outthink us, they outplay us. Sometimes they just flat out outsmart us, right? Now, I know I turned that volume of the background sounds way down, but it just keeps popping back up. Lots of little bugs going on in the StreamYard thing today. So bear with me if there are problems. Like right now, I turned the sounds down, but they've popped back up again. Yeah, the control isn't even working, is what it comes down to. Hi, Cecil. Hi, Cecil. What's up, boy? Hey, Amy. I can't hear anybody else. Oh, you're in there twice. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, there's all kinds of bugs running on this app
It's
right now.
not StreamYard at all. It's my end here. I don't know what is up to. So well, okay, it's maybe a bit StreamYard. They basically I cleaned my laptop from unnecessary data, so I had to log in freshly to StreamYard. Yeah, and they made it complicated.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I also couldn't log into YouTube, so now I'm back. So 10,
Well,
10 minutes and a lot of nerves later, I'm here. So hello and welcome. Sorry for my
yeah.
stress voice.
I had about 10 minutes of that kind of fun too. I knew we were in trouble as soon as I got a notice. Oh, we've updated some things. Oh, here we go. Um, Plus, when I was trying to set up the stream, if you plug in the title after you plug in the script that you want people to read, then it locks up, so you can't do anything else. So I had to do that like 3 times before I figured out what was locking everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, they must have hired some programmers from Microsoft, or maybe some of the new ones from Apple, because they seem to be able to do the same thing. What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, I'm glad you made it in, Amy. Uh, I didn't. I mean, I wasn't even in here until like 2 minutes ahead of it. I was messing with it just to try to get in. So then it wouldn't hook up the sound, and then the sound went away. And then if you touch the screen, you got to be careful with the screen. You barely touch something on the screen, and the whole thing goes bye bye. So yeah, they improved things quite a bit. Not right, Cecil. Maybe you should go to work there. You could whack them in the head with that. Mm,
Mm.
he's feeling much better today, but it's amazing how they outsmart you guys. Of course, the research they've done, the brains that they have may be small, but they're so much more efficient than ours. Um, and they appear to have developed their intelligence faster than humans did, because the main part of our brain is the outer section, the part that came last. Theirs is actually uh, at the base of the brain, and it came on a lot earlier. So they've been smarter than us for a while. Mhm. Yeah, I think you have to be pretty smart to fly around trees and stuff, don't you? Go and find your own food. Mhm. Like the ones you see in Australia, outwitting the people. I watched a video where this couple was sitting on the balcony in Australia on vacation, and they had a little bowl of French fries. And so one of the cockatoos, the greater sulfur, landed on the table, and then just kind of casually walked over and took a French fries, and they laughed. They thought it was funny. Yeah, that was the cue, because a whole bunch of other birds came down, and there went all the French fries. Yeah, you just have to show that I'm okay with that. Take a French fry. Boy, they all, okay. That means we're okay for this too. So they don't have any leaders or followers, but they watch, and they can learn by modeling, which is seeing what another bird does, or actually seeing what someone else does. It isn't necessarily like the birds that have learned to ask to drink from the water fountains. Um, they've watched people do it, and then they come down and try to cajole people into turning the handle for them. So, and what's funny is when you watch, I saw one of those videos of the people who are like, "What is that bird trying to tell us?" And it was so obvious. I mean, it couldn't have made it more obvious. Tap the handle, look at the people. Tap the handle, look at the people. Took them about a half a minute. The bird. I mean, I would see that and get it almost immediately because they're trying to tell me something. But a lot of things we don't see, the stuff that happens in the background. This one, he'll do something like he'll be sitting there playing with it like that, and I'll get my mind off of him, and he'll just slowly go up my shoulder, and then he'll start whacking me in the head with it. But he waits for those moments where my attention is somewhere else. I need to put a lock for this too. If I move the camera around, it changes from portrait to landscape and back. And there's no lock on here that I can see. No. I'm almost afraid to touch the menus now after what problems I had earlier. But what you doing down there, big boy? Huh? Yeah, I turned the background sounds down all the way I could. It didn't affect it at all. So now that whatever they've done, they've made it so that switch doesn't work. So you can turn on sound, but you can't adjust it. And only proves that they should get kindergartners to program because they do a better job. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're sneaking your way up, are you? Mhm. Well, he feels better. He's lost a little weight, which we're trying to get him to lose a little bit of weight. So changing the food certainly has slowed him down a bit, but he also can't eat until an hour after he gets his morning medicine, his liver medicine. So, but he's still got a pretty good attitude, don't you? Don't you? So another good example is Sugar up there. She sits up there like a queen who runs everything, but if you really aren't paying attention to her, she will go over to the hanging toy and play with it. Yeah, I'm talking about you. In her cage, she does a lot of that. Lately, she hasn't minded so much when I catch her playing with a toy, but it's almost as if that's above her. I don't play with toys. I don't want anyone to know that I play with toys. But so for a long time, she did most of that stuff in secret, but now she's a little more open about it. And someone like Romeo too. He has a little whining sound he makes, not quite not like hers, but he'll make a little whining sound when he wants attention. And he's learned when he can do that and get my attention. I mean, if I'm in the kitchen cooking, he can do that. And I mean, I can talk to him, but I just can't break it up to go over there because I'm trying to get their food ready. But so he'll do that. I'll walk by, and if he'll do it. Or if the movie stops playing, they've been watching. I got him Netflix because you get 4K movies there, and unfortunately, Amazon Prime, they've got a whole bunch of movies that aren't even HD quality. So, and the birds won't watch those, but he'll make that sound if there's no movie playing. And I can tell by looking at him if he just wants me to come over and talk to him. which he likes me to do that during the day, just come over and talk with him for a little while. Or if it's the movie deal, you can tell just by his body language. Or if he wants some extra food in his bowl, there's different things he tells me, and he does it with his body language. But he gets my attention with a little whine of his first, right? So if you're really watching, these guys do a lot of communication trying to get your attention. Cosmo does it when she wants more food in her bowl, which she's playing that now more because the food's changed. So she'll eat a lot more than I thought she would, and then I have to go back and feed her again. But she'll catch me walking by and give me a look. She couldn't do that before she got this new medicine though, because she couldn't see really. Didn't quite know where I was, but she does now. Let's see. Cecil went in yesterday. Yeah, our vet works Sundays. Uh, Sunday through Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday does house calls. So he got doing gram stains on him just to make sure he doesn't have aspergillosis. Sometimes they get it if they have AGN because they're not digesting properly, and it makes them a little weaker, and they get it. So it's good to test him for that. But if I have to give him another medicine, he's probably gonna. And someone I know is going to get a laugh out of this. He's probably going to turn into Cecil Hyde then, because at this point he's tired of me taking his food bowl at night. Because when I put him to sleep, I have to go out and I have to take his food bowl, and he defends it. I mean, he's right there. Don't you touch my food bowl? And I have to distract him to get him away from the bowl. Otherwise, he's going to rip my hand off. Doesn't want me because he wants to snack in the morning and he can't do it. Silly bird. Silly bird. Oh, it's doing all kinds of things. I changed the camera and it made a sound. It's never done that before. Uh, so, with all the things that if you watch them, oh, this one up here is a good example too. Snowball. Give you one more example. Uh, if I have to give him Haldol in the morning, right? So he will try to get me to play with him, even though I never do it because I don't want to get that started in the morning. I don't. He'll take a ball or he'll take a frisbee and throw it out the door to try to get me to play with him, and then he'll run out to chase it. So I have to stop that behavior, which isn't easy, but I have to contain that behavior so I can give him his medication, and then later on I can play with him. But I can't. But he wants to play all the time, and he'll do all kinds of things to get. He'll just look like, oh, I'm not doing anything. And the second you open that door, boy, he grabs the toy and he's like going 100 miles an hour to run out the door with it. He's trying to throw the toy out ahead of himself. He likes to play, that boy. Don't you, Snowball? Yep, I said Snowball. I said the Snowball. So we all know that insult. They call you a bird brain. Well, maybe they should say human brain instead of bird brain because they're pretty darn smart. This one makes his own toys. And the other thing is he makes what he wants known. I mean, he has to have paper in his cage. He likes to get under it. And then, he- we know it's just a nesting behavior. It doesn't, in his case, it doesn't really cause any trouble. But if he gets pooped on a couple of times, he doesn't want it anymore. So he'll pop his head up and grab the paper and move it a little bit to get my attention on the paper. Like, can you give me a new one? This one's no good anymore. Smart, aren't you? Are you a smart bird? This is all birds are smart. So if somebody calls you a bird brain, take it as a compliment and just say, "Yeah, that's right, human brain." I mean, they don't. These guys aren't out in the forest trying to, attack each other and destroy their communities. That's kind of what humans do. So, of course, they have a little help. You know, governments and rich people don't exactly make things this a good world. But what are you doing down there? And this one doesn't like to go back in his cage. Who would? But I have to wrap him up like a KK taco. I put him in a little towel with his head sticking out, and I put him in his cage. He won't go in any other way. And I think now it's more of a game for him. He just wants to play the game. I don't think it bothers him that much because he goes right in and starts playing. So, but I think he's just used to the game, and that's the way he's going to play it. So, like Snowball with his fly me back to my cage thing, he gets a little emu oil on his right foot back pad on his right foot. And because if you don't do that, it just overgrows. It's a callus that overgrows. If you put that on, that's why one foot's darker than the other because the oil does spread down his foot, but it doesn't hurt anything. But if you don't do that, then he limps with that foot. He's not limping anymore. So all the different things I tried on him, uh, dremeling it down, and putting Silvadine on it, which doesn't really soak in. The emu oil does, but was finding a safe oil, and there aren't many, um, to get on that foot. And now he's better. By better, I mean he runs faster and he's harder to catch when he wants to play. The brains they have are about the size of a walnut, and they can outwit a 5-year-old. Well, actually, they can outwit us most of the time. So the next time you're eating a walnut, think, there's someone with a brain that size that can outwit me. It's efficiency that matters, right? Not the size of the brain. It's how efficient the brain is. And it took what medical science to get us to where we could live into our 70s, where we could raise the average lifespan. These guys already have a long lifespan. So, they're wired to be curious. They're wired to be clever. It's how you survive if you're going to be in a flock environment in the middle of the forest where the fruiting trees change from month to month, not according to any, well, at least on the equatorial areas, not according to any change of sunlight, but uh, they know how to go and hunt these things down. They know how to deal with predators in a group. They don't do it one on one. So they're constantly engaged. Their brains are engaging in the environment. Unlike us, we wander around like in a speaking. We do have a new movie quote today, but like in the movie Shadowlands, where Deborah Winger looks at Anthony Hopkins and says, "What do you do? Walk around with your eyes closed all day?" In some ways, that's what we do, isn't it, Cecil? Mhm. So in the wild, they're running around, you know, avoiding danger, bonding with their flock, hunting down different places to find food. Uh, in captivity, if we don't give them puzzles and toys and we don't interact with them, And they're going to turn that brain power into something else, maybe something not quite so creative, like chewing up your curtains. Or a friend of mine was complaining that this rescue bird she's working with, just started eating her wallpaper. And to me, that's like, huh, okay, who cares about wallpaper? I mean, you got a spot, you get it fixed or whatever. But if you're going to obsess about things like that, you can't really be around birds because you'll go nuts. I'm already nuts, but I mean, you'll go crazier if you're going to obsess over stuff like that. Years ago, after I went through a divorce, I was trying to rehome my dog just because he didn't like being home alone. And when I mean didn't like, I mean I come home for lunch. I come home to him at lunchtime to be with him, and then he started just peeing on the carpet when he saw me because my wife wasn't there anymore. So I went to this one, was looking for somebody to adopt him, and I went to this one woman's house, and she had a white carpet, and I said, "This isn't going to work." So there's no way it's going to work because somebody with a really white carpet, most of those people are just paranoid about getting a spot, any kind of spot. So how do you how do you spot a paranoid person? They have a white carpet. So I apologize to anyone out there with white carpets that isn't paranoid, but with birds, this kind of carpet's the best. It doesn't really hide the chunks of wood, but because it's two tone, it doesn't look so bad. So with all that creativity that they have in their heads and this urge to be curious, um, making sure that they have things to enrich their lives, that's not a luxury, it's survival. It's what keeps their minds and bodies healthy and alive. Of course, their bodies are hard to keep healthy because we can't give them the exercise they need, which is flight. We've got small birds, it's easier. With bigger birds, harder to fly them around. They have a way of finding things that they can chew on too. And or a little bird might take a nibble. These guys take a big chunk. Depends on what they're chewing on. You don't want them chewing paint or something like that. So, but sometimes it's as simple as a little cardboard box, or to them it might be a castle, or it's not really going to be a castle, right? It's actually going to be a nest box, but um, even a simple puzzle, they might find that interesting as long as you know that it's non-toxic stuff, like a puzzle for toddlers or something. Give them something that can become an epic adventure in their life. This little thing is supposed to be a toy where you put something inside of it, for them to forage. But for him, he likes the fact that it has a chain and a body, and that he can pull it open and close it. He just likes doing all that. So, what are you doing? You lost it. Well, the next time you see your parrot shredding up a bunch of paper, don't think of it as a mess. Think of it as genius at work. It's all. His breathing is a little better today. This one right here makes me creative all the time because the medicine is more or less tasteless. It doesn't have any taste. It doesn't have any odor. So, but with him, because however they were giving it to him before he came to me, he has this tendency to try to find creative ways to avoid it. So one way is to go to the bottom of the cage and get under a piece of paper and hide with an eye sticking out to look at me like you're not really going to give me the medicine, are you? So I usually wait until, he wants a toy. It might be a half hour or an hour after he goes in his cage, and he'll climb up on the cage. But then it's a game there too. If you pet him, does he want out? He'll put his foot out. If he doesn't want to come out where it's easier, then you have to see if you can just pet him on the back of the head and give him his medicine. But if he tries to fight you, then you have to put a towel around him, just gently around his head, so you give it to him. And there's just lots of games. He'll go on the cart, but if you leave the handle on the cart, he likes to climb up there. So you got to be careful because once he gets on that and he rips a hold of it, you can't get his feet loose. It's got places where he can catch his toenails in. He's a smart boy. He knows what he's doing, don't you? I'm gonna look at the chat because I'm wondering if anybody's saying anything out there. Gonna turn it.
Hey ho, the chat is, well, Eleanor and Rosebud chatting a bit, but otherwise it's pretty quiet.
That's
I
kind of what
think
I
I haven't
thought. Yeah.
introduced chatters at all today since I was so busy with actually trying to get in here at first. So let's get that done. So we have Tiki Tiki here today and Calvin Thurston. Then Falkensu is with us and Rosebud Atkins. So hello and welcome everybody. And Eleanor is managing the chat with Sunny sometimes.
Oh, there you go.
Sunny is writing really interesting messages. I really can't wait when she's discovering emojis.
You want to see Cecil? All right, hold on. Cecil wants to look at the phone. Hmm? What? I don't have any food. I never give it to you that way anyway. That's the look he gives me when he wants me to give him food, but I won't ever do it. Human mouths are disgusting. Yes, they are. They're disgusting, aren't they? You just like to eat. You want to eat food the way all birds do. You want to all share that way. But it's silly. We do have a movie quote. It was up there, it went bye, so I put it back. It's kind of a long quote, but it kind of needs to be if you're going to guess the movie. So I'll be totally surprised if somebody does guess that movie, but it is one of my favorites of all time, which probably says something about me, doesn't it, Cecil? Doesn't it, Cecil? Cecil Bird. Well, the way you're putting your head, I got to change the camera again. There was a day you could give people prizes or something for figuring it out, but all you really need to do is copy and paste it into a search engine and it'll tell you where it came from. So it doesn't do much good. Then it's just the person who's fastest enough to copy and paste. Well, you can't actually copy this, but you could, you just have to get a small phrase from there to look it up. But are you a glorious bird? You're not a seagull, but you're a glorious bird. Mhm. It's just, I don't know. I get poked and prodded, and I get injections, and I have to take medicine all day long. I don't know what to think about all this. Just get my dad to pet me. It's fun to take these guys into a regular veterinary office because it doesn't matter what other animals in there. The bird is always going to get the most attention. I mean, there's those that are afraid of them and step back, and then but most of them are like, "Oh, what a cute bird." He was being a little, what's the word for it? He had a little bit of concern about being there yesterday because the last time he was there, he got drugged, so and X-rays. So he didn't get knocked out though. They just calmed him down a lot with tranquilizers. So and so this time he's like, "Oh no!" And all he had to really do was get a gram stain. So and that was funny too because 9 times out of 10, if you take a bird in, they'll do a cloacal swab, right? But if we're looking for aspergillosis, a bigger sample is better. So they said, "Well, we just need you to bring back some poop." And I went, "Give me a bottle of water." And they're like, "What? Can you give me a cup and a bottle of water?" So they gave me a little bottle of water. I took the cap off of it. I gave him a few sips of water and then waited about a minute, put the cup out, and boom, he went. When they eat something or when they drink something, they tend to go right after. So
So
that was quick.
Eleanor has a guess for the movie you're looking for. She suggests Prisoner of Honor.
No, that's not it. But I'm glad we're getting a guess. I mean, it is from I can say this. It's an obscure movie. It's my favorite movie, but a lot of people haven't seen it. So
Next guess, J'accuse, uh, French for I accuse.
nope. I have to give a hint now, don't I? Let me think.
An
There's a one.
officer and a spy.
Nope. There's there's a one-armed military officer in the movie. Here's an obscure. I can give you another hint. This is an obscure hint, and I know no one's not even going to get the hint. But part of what they call a cockatoo in China, there is that plays an important part in the movie.
One armed, that's Nelson. No idea.
No,
Welcome, Richie the cockatoo.
no.
No, Richie the cockatoo just entered.
I figured that out after I said that. Yeah. Well, isn't it? I
Because
was
you said
thinking
no,
that's a
no, and I
that's a,
was like, no,
that
that's not a movie guess.
yeah, yeah, I was thinking I've never heard of that movie. Trying to think if there's someone steals a priest's Volkswagen in the movie.
Eleanor is asking, so is the movie not about Dreyfus?
Not
And
about what?
Calvin,
Not about
okay,
what?
I about Dreyfus. How do you call this guy? It's in the quote. Dreyfus. The Dreyfus affair. Dreyfus? Oh no.
Uh, no, it's not about Dreyfus. No.
Um Calvin says Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
No, that's a good movie though. But when that quote is being when that's being said, there is um, a a present that was given to someone that gets thrown into the ocean, and then the one who gave the present goes, "Why did you know?" Basically, why did you do that? And so I'll always know where it is. I hope if nobody has seen this movie, they actually watch it. It's let's see another hint. The music in the movie was done by Cat Stevens. We're getting down to the wire here. The two lead actors are Ruth Gordon and Bud Cort. Well, now I know no one in the audience has seen the movie. That's too bad. Compared to most of the drivel they're putting out today, it is one of the best. I think it's one of the best black comedies there is. I mean, as far as but it does two things. It has a whole bunch of truisms about what life is all about, but at the same time, it has those, and it also has images. Well, I don't know how to put it. This son doesn't really care much for his mother, and because of the way his mother treats him, so he stages his own demise in the movie several times, and he's just staging them. They're all fake, but incredibly life affirming movie. And I think the best of Cat Stevens' music is in that movie too. The best things he ever wrote. So, and Romeo likes that movie, and Mander watches it. I can't say Cause does because she's still got blurry vision, I think, but I think she likes the music. Okay, well, I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag. It's Harold and Maude.
Sorry, what is it?
Harold and Maude.
Oh, then Falkinsu was right. I wasn't sure that this was suggested to you. She says, all I can think of is Harold and Maude, Cat
That's it.
Stevens.
Yeah, you got it. That's it. Harold and
Oh,
Maude.
how Falkinsu realized she got it. It's
Yeah.
excellent. Oh, not my day today.
Well, you had to fight with StreamYard. That's no fun.
Yeah, I have to fight with StreamYard the beginning of fall. If I just could be a hedgehog and eat now everything I like to a super extent and then just fall for hibernation.
Well, if you like pasta, that is that new stuff I found. That is just a. I found this. I've been on a diet now for 5 months, but no, I just can't eat anything. I can't sit down and ever fill my stomach. So I was chatting with Chat GPT about that, and I said, this is. I call my version is named Glyph. So I said, Glyph, I'm tired. I can't eat rice. I can't eat wheat. I can't sit down to a big meal. I can't. And so I don't know why it took so long, but it comes back. Well, there is this product called konjac, and it explains it to me. And then what? Yeah, it basically it's a noodle. You can buy it. It's already pre-cooked when you buy it. You don't want to have to go through the cooking process. That's too complicated. But um, it if you follow the instructions and you cook it up and then you make a nice like a spaghetti sauce or an Asian sauce or whatever sauce and you put it over those noodles, you can have a big meal and the only thing you're going to pay any calories on is going to be what you add to it. Because in order to get 2,000 calories, your so-called minimum daily requirement they have listed in the US is 2,000 calories. You would have to eat 73 pounds of this stuff. So
Luck.
a, s- a big bowl of spaghetti, right, is 12 calories, just for the
Mhm.
pasta, 12 calories. So
The
I've been
ones
eating,
we talked about, the
huh?
the cognac noodles.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. They look actually as an excellent replacement, not maybe for spaghetti all the time, because actually my Italian pasta sauces I like with spaghetti or penne. But yeah, one could certainly cook some Asia inspired dishes with it, with a lot of vegetables and little soy sauce.
Hmm. Well, I got recipes for all that stuff, but
I
with
mean,
the amount of
if one has like you who cannot eat any carbs at all, so you also can replace it with the Italian pasta sauce. But
well,
I'm picky.
I can have I can have more oils than I can carbs. So, and if I
Mhm.
need to add sweetness to a sauce, I just throw stevia in there. So, but yeah, I can do the Asian stuff too. I just use stevia instead of sugar. But, but I'm probably going to do Asian today because I think I've done 4 days of Italian of huge bowls of spaghetti.
Hmm. Oh, Sugi, she looks good.
But do keep
Right.
in mind, and if anybody is going to do that, buy that konjac and eat it, drink a lot of liquid with it. Otherwise, it will soak up the liquid in your stomach. It tends to do that. And it could make it a little hard, to do your normal business. But on the same
Not,
side,
not
if
with a huge portion of it.
Well, if you're on a diet like me, a huge portion is the way I want to go, because I don't get to do
Yeah,
that
but
usually.
when basically it somehow doesn't make it through your digestion tract and it has to be
Uh,
pulled basically by the doctor out, that's also not
yeah.
the best idea.
It's not quite that bad. It's not going to form like cement in there or anything, but it will slow the system down. If you drink a lot of liquid with it, it goes the other way. So, you just have to make sure you get like a glass of water with it or something, an 8-ounce glass of water. That's all you got to do. But
Mhm.
unless, of course, you already have the other problem, you've got the runs, and if you have that, then you can just eat it without anything else, and it'll solve that problem for you too. But it's good. I mean, if you cook it right, I found after you boil it, you have to rinse it in the net for a minute. And that doesn't mean just for a second, it means for a minute. You rinse it and then boil it and then stir fry it in a pan with a little bit of some kind of fatty thing, a little bit of butter or, earth balance or something like that. And then throw in some spices, whatever you're going to have. So if you're going to make Indian, you'd want to throw in some tandoori masala or garam masala or something like that in it so that it'll pick up that flavor. It sucks in the flavors. So, and then go ahead and add it to whatever you want. Oh, it's good. I was joking around with ChatGPT about it. I said, Is this like the Shakers? There was this religious order that they didn't believe that that human beings should have offspring. I think the last one of them they came over. In the early days of the U.S., they came over, and the last one just died a few years ago. Yeah, because if you don't have any offspring, it's pretty hard to promulgate your religion. Um, so I was saying, did the people who eat this did they die off? Yeah. No, it's used. It's an Asian tuber that's similar to potatoes, but it's used to moderate calorie intake. It's been used for that for over 1,000 years. So if someone's gaining weight, then they would make a bunch of, they would start eating more of these noodles to reduce the amount of calories they intake. So actually been used for dieting for over 1,000 years. Of course, we don't know a darn thing about it over here. I always kid, I know this isn't true, but I kid the British that, that the British don't know how to boil water, which of course isn't true. But in the United States, people don't know you can boil water, because they don't cook. They just buy something in the store, 5 ounces of something, and throw it in the microwave. And, they pay $5 for 5 ounces when a bag of potatoes is like a buck and a half for 5 pounds. Um, so, so I get to eat. But of course, the whole time I'm eating, because Bob's unhappy that he's had his food changed, even though he's had Harrison's before, he's eating them again now. But while he sees me eating, he has to yell at me the whole time. Well, you can eat what you want to, but I can't. I have to eat these pellets that you used to give me. Now they're back in my bowl, and I'm not happy about that. Sugar's still she's still hitting her mash and her birdie bread. She's trying to avoid them, even though she was on Harrison's when she got here, weren't you? You were on Harrison's.
My budgies are on Harrison's.
But she's one of the last holdouts. This one here for
Last bird
everything.
standing.
She just won't. But and the first day she ate some, but after that she hasn't. So, or if she has, it's just been one or two, and it's not where I can see it. She tends to take her food out of the bowl and eat it, so it would fall to the bottom, and I wouldn't see if she'd been chewing on them. But it looks like she hasn't touched them. It is humorous though that I lose 21 pounds. And then I find out, oh, there's this stuff you can eat that doesn't have any calories. What? That's a big line in Harold and Maude, too. What? But you have to see the movie. Umbrellas. What can you say, huh? And that was she's thinking, well, isn't it close yet? No, it's not close yet. We still have a little. These guys have another hour out, at least. Snowball's been running around playing most of the time today. He's just sleeping. Yesterday he was all over the place throwing that roller ball. He was tossing it up all over the place. Running up under my feet, running to the door, slamming it up on the cages. He even had it up by Lucy, and Lucy wasn't too happy about that. What are you doing up here with that? So keep in mind that these guys are little birdie geniuses and they need stuff to do. And they're social, so they like doing it with you if they can.
Oh, Shuggy, you couldn't be cuter.
She's a big, cute girl, isn't she? Hi, baby. And in the morning now, I switched them. They get almond butter now. Now she wants the almond butter rather than to be petted. So it's like I lost my pet buddy in the morning. She wants me to pet her on the head before I get started with everything else. But when it comes to getting her a stick with her medicine on it, she wants it right away. So I like the almond butter better, which is peanut butter's got more protein, but it also has other potentials, the same as corn does. It can carry toxins. That doesn't happen with almond butter, but it's almost all fat. There's no protein in it. I'm working on getting them to like sunflower seed butter, which is got a lot more protein in it. Because some of these birds have to have medicine mixed into their peanut butter or their butter. And right now, the almond butter is doing the job, but I want to switch them over slowly to sunflower. Well, guys, thanks for being here. And it's that time again. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Thank you, Amy, for moderating. Thank you, Eleanor, for moderating.
Thank you. Hope the tech will be with us on Wednesday.
Yeah, me too.
So thanks everybody for coming.
Yep, thanks for coming. And I feel like there's something else I forgot, but I guess not. So we'll see you all later. And you want to say goodbye, guys? So bye.
Bye-bye.
Science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower.
Evidence is evidence. It's public. Everybody can look at the evidence and assess it and eventually, if there's enough evidence, come to the same conclusion.
The Chloe Sanctuary for Parrots and Cockatoos, a nonprofit charity dedicated to the empowerment of captive parrots and public awareness.